for the most part, visual arts nowadays are used primarily to lend to other fields, such as in film. Uh, a lot of sketches and regular visual art is done to design scripts, and in video games, the statues and are used to make characters and creatures in the game world, and a lot of sketches are again used to make environments. So for the most part, visual arts don't stand alone on their own very much. They're normally something tied to larger projects, primarily to turn something two-dimensional into something three-dimensional. Personally, I think the fact that we can just jump on the internet at any time and get new visual art is a great thing. I know a lot of artists normally just kept their art to themselves. They didn't try to express it or show it to anybody because it was so hard and they didn't know how to show it to people. But now with things like DeviantArt and forums, it's very easy to upload your work and show anybody, and it's even easier to showcase your artwork to people who could be possible employers. My friend Rick Orange, for example, he's been making comic book art since he was about 12 years old. Well, he's in college now, and he's starting to try and get professional jobs. And so when anybody's interested in his work, he shows them some of the stuff he happens to have on hand, but then he normally tries to get to a laptop and he jumps on his DeviantArt where he's got a good 30 to 40 of his top images on there, and he's gotten a couple jobs off of that. So I think that being able to access your portfolio and visual art instantaneously is a brilliant thing. I think the biggest images used in a lot of, especially Hollywood films, things like Van Gogh's Starry Night appear a lot. Um, the Sistine Chapel appears in a lot of random things. A lot of the classics, from Picasso and Monet and Van Gogh especially, they appear throughout several films. Just about any film that has anything to do with art features one of these artists or focuses around people inspired by these artists. I think one of the biggest images that is some of Geiger's work, because of things like the film Alien. It's completely inspired by one of his paintings. Any of the Star Wars posters, that artwork is everywhere. Pretty big with all the films from that time. Indiana Jones, Star Wars, they appear everywhere. You can go into Walmart, Target, or a favorite visual artist is Geiger. He does a style of another one of my favorite visual artists, fallen angels and old gods and things like that. I think it's pretty cool. But by viewing artworks, I normally try to create stories within the pictures, and they're normally very different than what the actual image is. I try to look into something deeper, into the symbolism and the feel and the emotions that it gives you, and that does help me create some of my better works as a writer.